What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be rebuilding a 2004 Subaru WRX power steering pump. I already went ahead and disassembled everything, but this will give you an idea of what it's going to look like once you open it up. So once you get it off the car, you're going to have a sensor that's in this plug right here. And then you'll have 4 12s that you'll have to take out. And then once you get that off, it should slide out. And as you can see, I already have my shaft over here, which would normally be in the center here. And this back housing is going to have 2 O-rings. The first one is going to be, the larger one's going to be a 37, which that right there will be the dimensions of the O-ring, if you can see that. And then the smaller O-ring on the top will be a 15. And then once you get inside, there's going to be a dowel pin right here, a locating pin, which is right here. You'll have a little locating pin here that'll slide down inside. But I already disassembled it, so it's not really going to slide in there for me, because on the top in this slot right here, you can see there's 2 little bushings that go in there, the black one and the white one, and they lay on top of each other. And the black one goes at the top, and the white one goes on the bottom onto the cylinder. And to get the cylinder out with the casing here, you're going to have to take out this 19mm bolt, which has a spring. You can see the spring there. And you can see that little hole. Slide it on its side. See down in there, that's where the spring slides down into to keep this from rotating inside the housing. And that is going to be an O-ring that's a 14mm, and a 14. That's the dimensions right there. And then if you remove this one, there's going to be another 14, and then if you remove that one, there's going to be another 14. So those will both have O-rings that are the 14. And now taking this apart, if I can get it. Let's just turn it over. So this is going to be the inner side of the front housing. Which, this one I believe is the 136 O-ring. And then that smaller inner one down in here is going to be the 119, I believe. And then if you take out this hex plug right here, there'll be another O-ring that is a 17. Or is it a 13? It's either a 13 or a 17. You may have to correct me on that one, actually. And so now, once you get the front and the back half disassembled fully, you'll see that there's no way of getting to this front bearing, which is right here on the shaft already. So this will slide down in like that. I haven't pressed the bearing in, obviously, but I'm going to press that in. And you're going to have this O-ring, this shaft seal, actually, that you can see I destroyed. And this is the new one that I pressed in, which, let's see, there should be a 20, I have the here. That shaft seal, this is the one I used, 20 by 32 by 7. And to get the old one out, I had to take it and hit it from the back side. So I took a screwdriver from this side, went down and in, and had to drive it out. And one thing that helped me was I took the front side and I pushed it down and in, so it kind of cockeyed the O-ring, and then I was able to force it out. And then this one I was able to just push in by hand, so it didn't take much force at all to get that one in there. And then onto the O-ring, the bearing. This is the bearing that was in it. You can see it's steel on one side, which 6203Z, and then this side's a 6203LU. And this side is what faces out. And so when I bought my bearing, I got the 6203LU, and then I got the LU on the back side too. So this is an LLU. I didn't get the steel on the backside like the OEM one, but I don't think it's a big deal. This here is the bearing that I used. It's 17 by 40 by 12. And so you can tell it's double sealed, so. And then this here is the inner rotor that sits on the teeth of the shaft, as you can tell. And this has, make sure all the copper is facing outwards on all of these veins that are in here, because if you lose these, you're going to have a hell of a time finding them. So make sure you keep those all together and make sure all the copper is facing out, or bronze or brass, whatever is on the tip of it. And I think that's basically it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the shaft and press it down and in. And to get the new bearing on, I just used a 19 mil, which fit over the end of it. And I was able to just drive that down and get it seated. There's like usually a tiny little gap between. And then that new inner seal rides like right here. And there's definitely more resistance when I try to spin it with that new seal, so it's obviously sealing it better. And yeah, reassembly will just be the opposite of disassembly. And that's all the O-rings that you guys should need. I'll put everything down in the links, or down in the description below, for anybody that wants to check out the O-rings and see if you can rebuild your pump yourself too. But I appreciate you guys watching.